Cadence of Hyrule was definitely the thing that excited me the most today out of the Nindies spring presentation. And that's saying a lot because a game that was previously exclusive to Xbox is making its way to Switch as well. So my mind was blown multiple times. The whole presentation was bookended with things that absolutely just blew my mind. And today we are here to talk a little bit more about Cadence of Hyrule and how this whole thing even came to be. In an interview with IGN, the developers of Cadence of Hyrule and Kirk from the presentation, the man himself, the man, the myth, the legend, telling us a little bit about how this game came together, and today I want to talk about that. If you like this, again, make sure to hit the thumbs up, and that's pretty much it. Subscribe if you're not subscribed, but other than that, let's go ahead and get into the video. So IGN talked to Ryan Clark, the founder of the Crypt of the Necrodancer developer Brace Yourselves Game, and Kirk Scott, the Nintendo of America's manager of publisher-developer relations. Okay, so some quotes here. Ryan Clark says, "We were considering making a new Nintendo Switch project, and we imagined how cool it would be to have Zelda characters appearing in Necrodancer, say as DLC. To our surprise, Nintendo was extremely interested in the prospect, and before we knew it, we were working on a completely new title, mashing up Necrodancer and The Legend of Zelda." That comes from Ryan Clark. Okay. This was something that I'm glad they cleared up. They are saying that, hey, originally we just thought of DLC, and when I saw this, I thought that's what it was. I thought we were just getting DLC for Crypt of the Necrodancer, and we're gonna have some Zelda skins, and yeah, that's really cool, but nothing like what we actually have. And to know that they actually started off with that, and Nintendo said, hey, no, how about you guys do a little bit more? And then that eventually turned into this full big game. It's awesome to see that Nintendo was so receptive of it from the get-go. Next, we have Kirk Scott saying, developers are always reaching out to Nintendo to include IP in their games. When you look at a case like Cadence of Hyrule, there are special cases in some instances where our Japan teams see content and see titles that they want to work with, and the interest is a two-way street, really. Okay, that's really cool to see that the Japanese side of Nintendo automatically said, hey, yeah, we really like your game, we really want to do something with it too, and then it becomes that two-way street like they mentioned. That's super awesome, and that must be like an insane thing if you're an indie developer making games for Switch, to have Nintendo themselves tell you not only yes, but yes, and make it bigger. That must be absolutely insane. Back to Ryan Clark, he says, this is the first and foremost a new entry in the Necrodancer universe. We took extensive care to ensure that it could be considered both a Zelda game and a Necrodancer game. Kirk Scott goes on to say that Brace Yourself Games work directly with the Japan team to get that Zelda content in there, even if it doesn't really fall in line with a Zelda type title. Okay, I want to stop there and talk about these two things. First of all, the fact that this is both a Zelda game and a Necrodancer game, because I know I had that question. You know, talking to Zach while watching, I said, wait, is that DLC? No, it's a brand new game. Cool. But is it a Zelda game? Is it a Crypt of the Necrodancer sequel? What is this thing? And the answer is it's kind of both, at least according to the developers of the game. They are saying that it's supposed to kind of fit both. It is a Zelda game, but obviously not a full-fledged Zelda game the way that we would all expect. We are getting a more full-fledged Zelda game at the end of the year with Link's Awakening, and yes, that's a complete remake of an older game, and this is something completely new, but I'm still really happy to see that this is happening. Now, I don't know what they do to still keep it Zelda, right? Because Zelda has traditional puzzle elements, right? And there are dungeons. There is a lot that makes a Zelda game. But what can Necrodancer do to kind of make it fit the mold so it's a little bit of both? They have such a great task ahead of them because, yeah, people love Crypt of the Necrodancer. It's an awesome game. Don't get me wrong. But the Zelda fan base is rabid. Trust me, I know. Triforce tattoo on this arm right here. So yes, Zelda fan base is pretty rabid. You gotta do it right, and if you're gonna say that this is a Zelda game, there is a certain pedigree that you gotta live up to there that I really hope they can hit. I am 100% behind this. I want this to be really cool, and now that they are saying, hey, yeah, it's a Crypt of the Necrodancer like sequel basically, but it's also a Zelda game all in one, makes my expectations go way higher. They were kind of low because I honestly just thought it was gonna be skin stuff. We see some of the art stuff from A Link to the Past make its way over. It's very reminiscent of it. As soon as I saw it in the trailer, I said, Zach, this is like Zelda. This is Hyrule. And it ended up being what it ended up being. But again, just the expectations for whatever this Crypt of the Necrodancer game is, Cadence of Hyrule, they're way higher now than they would have ever been if this was just, Crypt 2, for instance. Kirk Scott also wanted to make sure to point out that this is like one of the first time that like an independent team even gets a chance at something with Zelda like this. We've seen Capcom make Zelda games before in the past, the handheld games, like sure. But Capcom is another like big publisher. They had a partnership. Awesome. This is something completely different. This is an indie team being given the reins to make a Zelda game. We've never seen anything like this before, and I'm really glad that Nintendo is kind of loosening up and just collaborating and being way more open with their franchises. We saw Mario plus Rabbids completely kick butt. That game was so awesome, and I feel like maybe a couple decades ago, who knows, Nintendo wouldn't have been as open to just giving the reins to their franchises to these developers and saying, go do your thing, make it different, make it cool. That was one of the big stipulations with letting Ubisoft use Mario and Peach and everybody for Mario plus Rabbids. They said, hey, just don't make a Mario game. You can use this stuff, just make it different. And it seems like that's what they're doing here. They're saying, hey, you can use Zelda, but no, we don't want it to just be DLC. We don't want it to just be skins. Do something cool, do something different. Cool and different is something I want to keep seeing going forward. One of the last few things I want to touch on here is something that Ryan Clark says. He says that Zelda is well known for musical composition among games. Being able to mix these two together into an awesome musical mashup of gameplay is definitely one of the most exciting points. That makes perfect sense. There's a symphony for Zelda. There's a lot of very iconic music, and they're going to be bringing a whole bunch of remix tracks into Cadence of Hyrule, and that alone is reason enough to jump on this. We're going to get some awesome remixes to some beloved Zelda music on top of whatever they're doing that is new. This is a really exciting concept. I pay attention to music in games. I love music, love video games, and Zelda is one of the franchises that like meshes them and brings them together so well. One other point I wanted to touch on, this is going to be, brace yourselves, second release ever. To say that your second video game release ever as an independent studio is a Zelda game, God, how lucky do you have to get? And hey, I'm not saying it's all luck. They definitely earned it. Crypt of the Necrodancer, awesome game. They definitely seem to have got the attention of someone over at Japan that really liked their game, and they said, yep, take Zelda. So for your second release ever to be a Zelda game of some kind, that's insane. The studio itself has less than 24 people making a Zelda game. God, that's a very small team. And this is according to the article that I'm sourcing all this from IGN.com. I have a link in the description. You can check it out there for the entire article. But less than 24 people making a really fun, new, interesting Zelda game. That's awesome. Clark does, clarify though that it is a spin-off and that it is first and foremost a game in the Necrodancer series. That's perfectly fine. But the fact that they are also making sure to incorporate so much that's still a Zelda game is so awesome to me. But that is pretty much it. That is how Cadence of Hyrule came to be. They asked, hey, can we do some DLC? They said, sure, but no DLC. Make it bigger, make it cool, make it different, and now it's both a Zelda game and a Necrodancer game all in one. I am so excited. It's coming this spring. I am very much looking forward to this. We're getting 2 Zelda games in 1 year. Yeah, this one is, super spin-offy, and it might not be considered a Zelda game to everybody, but if they're saying it's a Zelda game, to me, it's a Zelda game. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Are you excited for this? All my Hyrule fans out there, sound off. I want to know what you think, and that is pretty much it. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the thumbs up, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our other content. We appreciate each and every single one of you so much. You guys have no idea. Follow us on Twitter for giveaways and other shenanigans. Link is in the description, and I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the direct today and the coverage we brought you. I'm going to go practice playing an ocarina or something, get ready for more Zelda goodness coming, and I'm out. See you guys later. SwitchForce